What's up, everyone? It's Guy here with another crypto video, and basically I'll give you some updates on the Wonderland, my staking, some of the stuff that's developing in the Wonderland, which, like I said, I'm still long on Wonderland. And also I'm going to go over Abracadabra money, and it's part of the network, and I'm very excited about what's been taking place. So before I jumped in, if you haven't already liked and subscribed to my channel, please do so. Minority Thinker, I would appreciate it. Right now I'm going up 704. My goal is to get to 1,000. If you guys support my channel, like my content. All right, guys, with that said and done, let's get to it. So here's Wonderland. Looks like today is Sunday the 19th. Dashboard. Let me go over here for real quick. Total stake looks like it's almost at 400,000 stakers. So what's good? 715 treasure. So this number, I mean, fluctuate back and forth, but it's going up. Let me see. Let me pull up the some of the screenshot I did from previous. I believe it's a month and a half ago. This is at 141. See how it goes. November 17, so that's a month ago at 181, 141, 181. So you go up now. So you see a lot of stakers increase. That's a good sign. Okay, and there's a lot of good development in Wonderland and the ecosystem that the creators are pumping out there. I believe as part of that is the Abracadabra here. So Abracadabra allows you to basically farm, borrow, stake. In the last video, I showed you how to stake and get to spell. This video, I'll show you how you can basically do lending or borrow. I'm currently on the AVEX. The nice thing now is that the creator of the, the Abracadabra, along with Wonderland, along with the MIMs of Magic Money as a stable token, is that you can do a lot of borrowing, a lot of staking, and I really like the ecosystem there. And basically, whenever their transactions occur, transaction taking place, either using the MIM, using the Magic Money, through staking, leveraging, borrowing and stuff like that, they get a fee. So they get some cut back, and it goes back to the Wonderland treasury, the ecosystem of that. So that's why I like, I'm long on Wonderland. So anyway, you can actually, this is a different network. They actually recently, let me see here. Recently, here's a cool thing. Is that as you well aware of, is that once you do a lot of transaction or staking on the Ethereum network, it's Metamask here, I'll go Ethereum, transaction costs, the gas fees is very may not be cost efficient. I mean, it costs you a lot to do a simple transaction, so you have to do a large amount to to make it like worthwhile, because sometimes let's say you transfer $10, the actual fees cost you like 3 times or $25-$30, so it's not worth it. So what the creator, Danielle and his company, the folks behind it, is that they trying to figure different ways where you can do these types of borrow and lending for and swapping and stuff for very for much cheaper. So that's much less. Here it is. Working on opening up the UST looping on Abracadabra on Phantom to enable all frog to protest with lower gas fees. So this is great, man. This is awesome. So let's get back to Abracadabra, different network here. You select a network, Ethereum, Phantoms here, Avalanche here. So then you can do lending. Let's say I go, you can basically borrow I'll switch to AVAX here. And this is basically you stake your, let's say, AVAX, and then you put AVAX as collateral. You can borrow the magic money. So scroll down here. Okay, you have the option here to click on. Let's say you click here. I got 1.06 AVAX. You can get up to 70% collateralize. So you get $79 MIM. So essentially 70% of your stake. So MIM's essentially $1. It's a magic money. It's a stable coin of $1. So this is the amount you get. So you're probably wondering, why would you want to, borrow the MIMs? Perhaps you want to borrow the MIMs so that you can, able to use that across different network, multiple chain, because it's always at $1. It's fixed rate amounts, easily usable, and also you can use do all that kinds of stuff. I wouldn't, for me personally, I wouldn't want to do that as of now, because the market hasn't been. Let me see here. I mean, the markets tend to trend down at this juncture. I think it's great if you do do borrowing, lending, if the market is, say if it's sideways or if trending up. It currently looks like it's trending down since a peak here and trending down. So I wouldn't do that risk. I wouldn't take that risk, because if, say, AVAX goes down in value, you can get liquidated. You know what I mean? So that's just one example. AVAX to borrow, to stake down as collateral, to borrow MIM. So MIM, you can go buy a lot of different things across different, it gives you option to buy different things. Okay. Let's say you can switch to Ethereum network here and do the same thing. Hold on a sec. Let me show you one thing. With some of the altcoin like AVAX, I'll go back here. Speaking of Wonderland earlier, you can actually, let me go back here. You can actually wrap your memo from Wonderland. You can wrap your memo, and then you can use that as collateral to get MIMs out. So there's another way there. I've seen a lot of folks doing that. Let me see here. I got, let me see. So basically, essentially, I got 2.3 memos here, and I'll just, I can wrap it into 0.08 wrap memo, and then use the wrap memo to stake, or to use that collateral to borrow MIMs at 70%. So then I use, I've seen some, I haven't done it, but I'm just show you options that some basically can use the MIMs and they go back into TRADERJOE. TRADERJOE, and then they buy some more time. So you got that. You're using the time to go back. You stake more, and you continue the loop. So that's another way to increase your memo by, you know, wrapping your memo, get MIMs, borrow the MIMs out, buy the time, put it back into a loop cycle. And you know, you can go down from 70, you go down 50, 20, and you just maximize your leverage as it goes. Again, that's another option for you to do. However, for me, I wouldn't do that. Me personally, I mean, again, I'm not an advisor. You can do at your own risk, because you can get actually liquidated too as well. Because again, like I said, the market looks like trend downward. Say if your memo decrease in value, you can get liquidated and you lose it all. So if the market's sideways or trending up, then I would definitely use that tools to increase your to buy time using MIMs, and goes that way. So yeah, so that's another option, is that you can do the loop, borrow MIMs, go back and buy time to stake time to get memo. Memo you wrap and you basically increase it at a higher rate. Okay, so that's another option. Those two options obviously involve risk. As if the market were to tank or take a dump, there's a risk of liquidation. So I wouldn't do it, but this is what I would do here, is that let me switch to my network, Ethereum. I can use a stable coin. I use a stable coin, which I have. With a stable coin, basically, UST, US Terra. I have some US Terra in here. And what I would do is basically use this amount, whichever amount you're comfortable with. You collateral the UST, you borrow the MIMs. Let's say here, or 90. You actually borrow up to, I believe it's 90. Let's say you borrow 70, healthy is 100%. So basically, when you collateral UST, another stable coin. So since this is, for me, in my opinion, this is a sure bet UST. It's at $1, doesn't fluctuate too much. Let me look it up here. UST. It's at $1, doesn't fluctuate much without the market. You know, market being up and down. There's only a few instances it goes down to 9.96 up to 1.04. So it doesn't fluctuate too much. And then you can actually borrow up to, I believe, let me see here, Carl, to 90. Let me see here, change leverage. You can toggle around here. You see the increase as you collateral with the MIMs. Go to 121, $148. See what I'm saying? So you can borrow expected MIMs amount. You borrow 15. I'm like 9xing this. 7x. Price collateral has decreased approximately. So I'm 5xing this. I got 100% APY expected, and then I can actually borrow up to 10,000 of MIMs. Then you go back and do whatever it is. Obviously, you borrow it, you need to pay it back. So when I say add collateral and borrow MIMs, looks like the lending market has reached its MIMs borrowing limits. Please wait for the next MIM replenishment. So basically, Danielle and the MIMs will basically replenish this once it ran out, and then you can come back and borrow the MIMs. Okay, so right now you can't borrow it because it's already done. So again, one of the things about good to choose stable coin because it doesn't fluctuate too much in this kind of crazy market or downtrend market. So I think that's a safer bet. But with that said, you still do need to figure out the leverage. Leverager here is that make sure you're doing the right thing by not over leverage, and then you might potentially get liquidated. But with stable coins, it's much less. But stay with your comfort level. So 7%. So that's how basically you can borrow using collateral. Alright guys, do like and subscribe again to my channel. Cheers.